Hello, my dear students. Today we're going to discuss all the possible questions that could appear from Macbeth, Act 3, Scene 1. So make sure you watch this video before your examination because I have tried to cover as many questions as possible. So let's begin. The first question: which among these thoughts does Banquo not have? A. That he should get rid of Macbeth from his position as king. B. Hopes that the prophecies of his sons being the kings would come true. C. He suspects that Macbeth has used dishonest means to become king. D. He does not want to disclose his thoughts to anyone. So which among these thoughts does Banquo not have? And the answer is A. Yes, he does not have the thought of getting rid of Macbeth from the position as king. Okay, quickly moving on to the next question. Why does Banquo suspect Macbeth of foul play? A. If he overheard Macbeth plotting along with his wife. B. He thinks that Macbeth murdered Duncan for the throne. C. He thinks that Macbeth and the witches have a conspiracy together. Or D. Macbeth's expression and behavior seems suspicious. So why does Banquo suspect Macbeth of foul play? Because, yes, the answer is B. He thinks that Macbeth murdered Duncan for the throne. Next, who is the chief guest according to Macbeth? And what does Lady Macbeth say would happen if they forgot the chief guest? So we all know the chief guest is Banquo. And Lady Macbeth says that if he would be forgotten, there would be a huge gap in their great feast. And altogether it would be incomplete. That is what she says about Banquo. Next, what does Macbeth call Banquo's advice? So if you remember, Macbeth says that I really want to include you in the council. So why does he ask for Banquo's advice? Because A, it is unimportant, B, grave, C, selfish, or D, prosperous. So Macbeth calls Banquo's advice grave and prosperous. Yes. Next question, where would Banquo be going and when is he expected to return? So Banquo is going riding and it would be far enough that he would be riding from then until dinner time. And he says that unless his horse is faster than he anticipates, he would be back an hour or two after sunset. That is what he tells Macbeth. Next one, what information does Macbeth have about the bloody cousins? So who are the bloody cousins? They are Malcolm and Donalbain. Yes. So Macbeth has received news that Malcolm and Donalbain are hiding in Ireland and England, where they haven't confessed to their crime of murdering their father. Moreover, he says that they are telling strange lies to their host or the people who are listening to them. So this is what Macbeth says about his bloody cousin. Okay. What does Macbeth plan to discuss tomorrow with Banquo? A. How to kill the sons of Duncan. B. Discuss matters about Malcolm and Donalbain. C. How the coronation in Scone went. D. Discuss state matters concerning them both. So, what does he plan to discuss? One is discuss matters about Malcolm and Donalbain and also discuss state matters concerning them both. Okay. When Macbeth tells Banquo, fail not our feast, what does he reply? A. I shall try my best. B. I may not be able to come on time. C. My lord, I will not. Or D. If destiny permits me, I will come. So what does he say? He says, when he says, do not fail to come at a feast. So he says, no, I will not, means I will not fail, means I will definitely come. So answer is C. Macbeth says, to be thus is nothing but to be safely thus. What does Macbeth mean by this? So he says, to be king is nothing if I am not safe as the king. He says this because he fears Banquo. Now, what aspects of Banquo does Macbeth fear again? Important question. Please pay attention. I have written it in bullet points so that you can remember these. First point. Banquo has a natural nobility or royalty that makes him a threat to Macbeth. So, this is the first point, that he has natural nobility or royalty, and therefore he considers Banquo to be a threat. Next, his mind never stops working and he is a risk taker. So next is about his mind, which never stops working, and that he is a risk taker. Third, he has dauntless temper in his mind. So, dauntless temper in his mind, he has unbreakable courage. So, he's a risk taker who takes unbreakable courage, and his mind never stops working. He has wisdom that guides his valor or bravery, but he also acts safely. So, there is no one that Macbeth fears but Banquo, because around him Macbeth's genius spirit is put to shame, just like how Mark Antony's was around Octavius Caesar. So because of all these reasons, Macbeth feels inferior or fears Banquo. So please study this answer really well, it's important. Next, why does Macbeth call the crown on his head fruitless and the scepter in his hand barren? Again, important part. Again, please pay attention. So why does he call the crown on his head fruitless and the scepter in his hand barren? So the witches had proclaimed Banquo as the father to a line of kings. And though Macbeth was hailed king and given the position now, someone from outside his family would take away the crown from him. So Macbeth says that he had tortured his conscience and murdered King Duncan. He ruined his peace of mind for their benefit, because even though he is given a crown now, it would be taken over by Banquo's sons. So finally he says that he has handed over his soul to the devil just so that Banquo's sons can be king. So he's saying that the crown on his head is fruitless and the scepter in his hand is barren. Put rancors in the vessel of my peace only for them, and mine eternal jewel given to the common enemy of man, to make them kings, the seed of Banquo kings. So what does Macbeth mean in the above line? So Macbeth, in his deep hostility or spite, tells that in his vessel of wholesome liquid, he has poured poison into it. He means to say that he has ruined his peace of mind for the benefit of Banquo and his sons. He says that he has handed over his eternal soul to the devil by committing an evil deed. What is the evil deed? Murdering King Duncan, just so that Banquo's sons can be kings. So what he means to say that is, he has done all the hard work, all the evil and dirty acts, just so that the crown can be served into their hands. So this portion is also important. So basically that soliloquy of Macbeth is really important. Next question. What does Macbeth tell the murderers about Banquo? Does he praise Banquo or does he do the opposite? So Macbeth says that it was Banquo that made their lives miserable. Theirs means who? The murderers in the past. And they always thought that it was Macbeth to be blamed for it. But Macbeth says that he is innocent and that he showed proof of it during their last meeting. So here Macbeth is trying to incite the murderers against Banquo and saying that their lives have been ruined not because of Macbeth but because of Banquo and that he has showed proof in their last meeting. Next one. How you were borne in hand, how crossed the instruments, who wrought with them, and all things else that might to half a soul and to a notion crazed say, thus did Banquo. So what do these lines mean? And who says these lines? These lines are said by Macbeth. So Macbeth tells the murderers that he has explained to them how they have been tricked and deceived by Macbeth, how their plans were foiled, means spoiled. The things, how things were used against them, and how Banquo was working against them. And he says that all these things that he showed and told them would convince even a half-wit or a crazy person to say that Banquo did it. So he's saying that even a person who's not in a right state of mind would also say that Banquo did it. So he's indirectly telling them that I hope you are convinced that Banquo is an evil person and he is responsible for their misery in their lives. Next, which among these does Macbeth not mention that makes the first murderer say, "We are men, my liege"? So you have to say which among these was not told by the first murderer. A. Is your patience so predominant in your nature that you can let it go? Second one. Are you pious that you will pray for him and his children? C. Will you forgive the person who pushed you towards an early grave and put your family in poverty forever? D. Will you be able to digest to see his sons ruling over your children after he made your life so miserable? So, three among these were said by Macbeth towards the murderers, which made the first murderer say, "We are men." So, which among these did Macbeth not mention? The answer is D. Yes. He does not mention this line. It was made up by me. Okay. Going to the next one. What comparison does Macbeth use to describe men and the murderers that he hired? A. Thunder and lightning. B. Dogs and their breeds. C. Trees and uprooting them. Or D. Caesar was to Mark Antony. So what comparison does he use to describe men? It is B. Dogs and their breeds. Yes. Next one. Why does Macbeth use such a comparison? So Macbeth says that just like how, so again this is an important part. Just like how dogs can be classified according to their skill, men can be categorized according to their skill. So if the murderers consider themselves not in the list that they are of the very bottom, Macbeth will reveal a plan to get rid of their enemies and bring them close to Macbeth. Him here means Macbeth. So he says that just like how dogs have skills, men also have skills. And if you do not consider yourself at the very bottom, Then I will disclose how you can eliminate your enemy and bring you close to me. Going to the next one. Macbeth says that he is sick and something will cure him. What is it? So what will cure him? A. When he gets the news that his descendants will be kings. B. When he gets more wealth and a greater title. C. When all of the witches' predictions come true. Or D. When Banquo dies. So, if you remember, Macbeth says that as long as Banquo is alive, I am sick. And when Banquo dies, it will cure me. So, it is the death of Banquo. The next one. Why does the second murderer agree to kill Banquo? So, he says that he has been kicked about so much by the world. He is irritated. And now he is reckless about what he does to spite the world. So he says that he does not have a care in the world about what he does because he has been kicked about so much by the world and now he is irritated. So this is why he says that I agree to kill Banquo. Next, why did the first murderer agree? What reasons does he give? So the first murderer says that he is also sick and tired of bad luck and being at the mercy of fate. And that he would try to fix his life. So he would try all that he can do to fix his life or else end it all at once for all. That means he would die trying. Next one. Why does Macbeth not simply use his power to get rid of Banquo? And why does he secretly hire murderers to do it? So Macbeth has the power to get rid of Banquo. But why doesn't he use that? A. Because they have common friends and he needs them. B. Because he is scared everyone will find out that he killed Duncan. C. He should be able to cry and moan over his death publicly. D. He does not want to sin again as he has already killed someone. So there are two options that are right. I hope you found out because the first one is they have common friends and he needs them. And the second is C. He should be able to cry and moan over his death publicly even if he is the reason why Banquo is dead. Next. What details or specifications of the murder does Macbeth give to the murderers? A. It should be done inside the palace. B. It should be done when he sleeps. C. It should be done tonight. D. It should be done away from the palace. Or E. It should be free. He should be free from all suspicion. So which among this is right? Should it be done inside the palace? No. It should be done when he sleeps? No. It should be done tonight? Yes. It should be done away from the palace and that Macbeth should be free from all suspicion. Correct. Next. Who must also embrace the same fate at the dark hour? A. Banquo, B. Donalbain, C. Malcolm or D. Fleance? So along with Banquo, who also must embrace the same fate, it is his son Fleance. Why does Macbeth want Fleance to also be killed? So Macbeth believes that Fleance's absence is also as important as his father, as he would be the heir to the throne according to the witch's prediction. So it is important to kill Fleance along with his father Banquo. And coming to the last question, why did Macbeth ask Banquo, go Fleance with you? If you remember. So which among us is right? A. He wants to check Fleance's loyalty. B. He wants to know Banquo's plan. C. He wants to get rid of both father and son together. Or D. He wanted Fleance's presence during the feast tonight. So the answer is pretty apparent. It is option C because he wanted to get rid of both the father and the son together. And that's the end of all the questions. I hope you enjoy going through all these questions. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe right now and also share this video among your friends. Thank you and God bless.